guys, it's Michelle here from Walkingtwobytwo, and we're back for another episode. In this episode we're going to talk about different ideas for breakfast that you can take out on the trail so that you're not eating the same old thing every single morning. Plus you want to have something that is really going to sustain you to get you through the first part of the day. So a lot of the time people would just have oats for breakfast. Some people only have coffee. And unfortunately coffee's not going to get you very far. So many different ideas that you can have for breakfast. You've got the traditional oats that most people would take out onto the trail to have. Or like me, I like to have rice with lots of fruits and nuts and protein powder mixed in with it for my breakfast. Could also go for the scrambled egg option, as you can get in the supermarket, dehydrated eggs. If you're enjoying the series so far, that's really good. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to push that subscribe button. And hi, if you're new to the channel, it's great that you could come along and join us. Okay, so here we have some choices for breakfast. So when you're hiking on a long distance trail, you like to get everything prepared first to put into the food boxes or resupply boxes to carry in your pack so that you don't have to fuss around when you're already out on the trail. So what I do is I pre-plan everything before I go, and I try to vary it up a bit. So I do my rice with all the fruits and nuts, protein powder and everything in it, and that is my staple. That is the favorite that I like to have, but I don't have it every day. I do mix it up, and these are some of the things that I would have when I'm out there. Now you have your oats. These are really easy to do. They're already in portion sizes, and you just add your hot water, and you can add a bit of powdered milk to it. Or I sometimes like to take out some condensed milk and squirt that into it, but it does make it very, very sweet. This also, the condensed milk is also great for those who like to have milk in their coffee, especially if you have milk and sugar. I personally don't. I have black coffee straight up. Anyway, so the oats, these are really good, quick, easy to take. Now, if you want a little bit more than oats, because with myself, I find that the oats only sustain me for a couple of hours, and then I am starving again. My body is just craving more food because there's not enough protein in that for me. If I was to pack the oats, I would pop my oats into a zippy bag, but then I would add into that bag, say, some fruit, some milk powder, some protein powder, and that would then become my breakfast, and it would sustain me a little bit more, just adding those few extra things to it. So here I have some breakfast bars, some muesli bars. Sometimes in the morning you're not always that hungry straight up, so this might be like, so let's say pre-breakfast. You will have this with your coffee, and that will get you started. But again, for me, myself, it's not enough to sustain me for more than a few hours. So these I sometimes would like to have on my breakfast. I don't necessarily pack these on a long trip. They are a bit on the weighty side. This is 90 grams, so you know, they're getting there in the weight. But on my shorter trips, or for the odd treat that I may put into my resupply box, I put these in. Now I picked this one up here for 50 cents, and it's just pure fruit. So that's always something extra or good to have, and you can squirt it onto your cereal, drink straight from the container. It's a little treat. So like I said, it's not something that I would take all the time, but it is something that I may have occasionally. Here you've got some granola and some like cornflakes. I would pack these into a Ziploc bag, but then I would add to that. That's not enough, you know, there's no real nutrients in there to sustain you. It's more or less that's the base to fill you. Then I would add in some nuts, and these are just, what have I got, cashews, walnuts, almonds, which are good. Then I would put in some coconut, some cranberries, seeds and cacao chips. I love the cacao chips. And a bit of chai. Here I have a bit of ginger. This one's ginger. Oh yeah, that's the ginger. Ooh, love the ginger. And sometimes I use cinnamon powder, a little bit of mixed fruit, and then a little bit of milk powder. Now you can add as much milk powder as you like. I personally am not a big milk fan. Some people would probably put 2 tablespoons worth in. For me, just a sprinkle is enough. So that would then be a breakfast, and that's far more sustainable and will get me through the day a lot better than just plain old cereal. Same with the granola. If I was to have the granola, I would mix it up and add these additives into it just to give it just that little bit more. Now, if you're not somebody who can have the milk powder, it's okay. This one here is the Sunshine Instant Milk Powder. You can get some coconut powder, milk powder, which I've spoken about before. Quite often this is what I would have, is the coconut milk powder. And that just adds that whole different flavor to it, but it is really, really nice. So be a little bit more creative with what you have when you're out on the trail. Just don't be that person that just sticks with the oats all the time. You know, that gets boring. Add something to it, and your body will thank you for it if you were to add more nutrients into your breakfast, and you'll find that you'll charge on down the trail a whole lot better than you would if you didn't feed your body. Typically this is what I have for breakfast when I'm out hiking, even on the very long trails. I pre-prepare it all at home. All this stuff here will last quite a long time just in a normal zippy bag. So I do put it in my food drop containers. It's something very healthy. It really gives me that pick up and get going in the morning. I find that I need to have a lot of protein in my diet. If I have something more like this, I tend to find that my energy levels stay with me a lot longer. So what I've got here is basically some rice, which I've cooked and dehydrated. So in here, this typically would change a lot depending on what I've got in stock at the time. Today I have some apples, which we dehydrated in an earlier episode. If you haven't seen the dehydrating fruit, I will put the link in the description below and you can go back and have a look at that one. I have some cranberries here, which I bought already, obviously, and some dates. I got some lemon zest here that I've dehydrated. I love having that little bit of zing in my breakfast. I've got some chopped up almonds, which are really, really good for your energy levels and your protein. Here I have my dehydrated blueberries, again, We did this in an earlier episode of dehydrating fruit. And strawberries, I always have strawberries. So that is the fruit side. Here, I like to add in a bit of like a superpower mix. So you've got a lot of different seeds in here. I don't recall what everything is in here, but there's some cacao, sesame seeds, chai, linseeds. There's all sorts of stuff in here, and it's really good. Real power mix, that one. Here I have a bit of coconut milk powder. I don't have milk myself, so I like to use the coconut milk. So there's coconut milk powder, some cinnamon powder, and some ginger, just to add that little bit of flavor. And this one here, I top it all off with some protein powder, just to give it that little bit extra. And I find that this actually gets me all the way through till at least till lunch, where I'm feeling quite satisfied and have a lot of energy. So all you have to do is put it in your zippy bag, label it breakfast, and voila, it's done. So as I'm going out on the trail in a few days, I'm actually getting my breakfast ready. Now this rice will only take about, I don't know, 5 minutes, if that, not even that, to rehydrate. So you just chuck everything in. There's no measurements. You decide how much you want to eat and what you want. And that's usually what I eat for breakfast.